So the plan was to do a sit down kind of podcast style video with Pop and Diero, and we sit and discuss 2023 and everything that we did in 2023, plans going forward, all of that. And I still wanted to do something to kind of discuss and talk about everything that was done in 2023. This is the last year of my, first decade, first album, summer 2013, last album of the decade, or last project of the decade, will be December 31st, 2023. So, a lot of projects, I think it's like 40-ish projects, filling up between 2013 to present. Just keeping it contained to 2023, I did, pretty sure I did Right Where I Should Be, which is where I kind of started getting into, taking self-production a little more seriously. It was kind of a mix between, me, Tone Jones, and a couple other producers. I think Pop produced one for that one. Then I had The Archives, which was, just a backlog of old songs that didn't get completed when we were supposed to do the Black Silk collab project, and we were supposed to do Marvel's 5, but those kind of fell through. I did the Hoodie Weather EP with Night, and what else did we do? I think lots of singles in between all of that. I did Color Theory. Color Theory was how I did my singles predominantly this year, where they are attached to the album still, but it's a playlist instead of a traditional album this time. So I have, several songs for Color Theory, and I plan to continue to release songs for Color Theory into next year and eventually turn it into this, just massive playlist of songs that are not really tied to each other, but just when I have the ideas of, oh, I want to release a song, I'll just release it in the Color Theory project. Each track is given its own individual hex code, so I know which colors I've used. And eventually, the plan will be to just kind of have this like full array of, dozens and dozens of songs that fall into this Color Theory playlist. They might get compiled into an album or compilation one day, but that's not really the plan for those. What else? I've worked on the Sewing EPs recently. Those have been really fun to just sit and craft just a short 3 to 4 song project. But additionally, those Sewing projects are linked to the album that's coming next year, which, we'll talk about next year when it gets here. But looking back at this, addition to the catalog that I've made for 2023, and it's I feel, a lot of my best work. I did some videos this year, not too many, nothing crazy. I still am not somebody who enjoys doing a lot of music videos traditionally, and I'm still navigating how to approach that and ways to combat that. There's still a lot of, oh, you need to do this, and you need to do this, and you need to do this, and eventually it gets to the point where you have to draw the line in the sand and say, okay, I don't have to do all of these things to be successful on my own terms. I feel like I've done a lot. There's still more that I can do, obviously, but there is no lack of anywhere in my plans and in my processing for how I'm trying to accomplish a lot of these things. We did the Cameron's Corner videos where, I sat on my parents' porch and just answered a lot of questions that people had. I still have maybe 15 of those videos that are going to trickle into next year because I'm doing them once a week. Could I be doing them, they're all finished, so I could just schedule them and upload them and have them all come out this year. But I think it's better when I just space it out one a week. That gives me time to, interact with comments, make discussions, gather new questions for if I decide to do a season 2 of that, and, answer a bunch more questions next year or answer them with people, whatever, form that takes. I'm trying to think if I forgot any projects, and I feel like I have. I've done a lot of producing for not just myself, for other people this year. I opened the beat store this year. I had beats up there, sold a few, um, and got to experience that and play around with how I want to navigate that in the future and the things that I want to do differently going into next year. So I think it was a very well-rounded year. In terms of 1033, I did a lot of things with 1033 this year, revamped the website, transitioned into doing a lot of, direct to consumer selling. All of my music for the last few months has come from, it's going straight to the website or Bandcamp first, then it'll trickle to streaming services. I've tested out using Even for a couple of the recent releases with Sewing Part 2 and Part 3. They released on Even first. Which is, new direct-to-consumer platform, and I appreciate them giving me the opportunity to use their platform in this new direction that I'm trying to go. With, expansion of 1033, we had Pop do a few things. He's gotten more into producing, and, he's gotten some placements with that, producing for himself, producing for peers, producing for other artists, just selling beats on the beat store, things like that. It's been nice to see everybody branching into their own directions. Olivia, she released a single, and I appreciate being able to be involved in that, producing that, featuring on that. It was great to be a part of that experience. And Mia, she released a single, and she's done features with me, with Diero, I believe Vika released a single with me, Lost in Hour. We did that one together earlier this year. And Slim, she was still Slim Haley, she was still coming off of her independent release from last year, and celebrated the 1-year anniversary for that this year. And next year we plan to really get started with her stuff for 1033. But it was a very productive year, I feel, in more ways than social media. I know social media is a very large focus for a lot of people. Numbers are a very large focus for a lot of people. But outside of that, in the real world, with dealing with things, I think it was a very productive year. We got a lot accomplished. We helped a lot of people. We did some stuff from the charity side of things with the 1033 Foundation and the Bell Jones Foundation. And we were able to help some kids get music stuff going, get their careers started and things like that. Help some of the, older crew get involved and step back into doing music and things like that. So I just, I'm really grateful for what we were able to accomplish this year. Even though it may not be represented on the social side, or it may not be done in ways or with the means that people believe to be the best, for lack of a better term, in the moment. I still believe we have accomplished a lot of the goals that we set out to accomplish, and some. I think next year it'll be no different. We'll be able to take strides into improving in those areas. But just being grateful for all that 2023 brought, the connections that it brought, the, collaborations that were able to happen, and the successes, no matter how big or how small, that me and everyone associated were able to achieve, thanks to, the support from friends, family, fans, strangers even. I am very grateful for all of those things. So that's my, summarized 2023 wrap up. I do still want to have the big wrap up with Pop and Diero, they the bros. So I want to sit with them and really have a nice discussion about this stuff in detail. But for now, I think that's a nice wrap for where we're sitting at now, as we're getting ready to step into 2024 as a label, as an artist development company, but also where I am ready to step as an individual for this next decade of my musical journey.